Yo, we back another Can We Keep It Real podcast. What's going on, everyone? And first, I want to thank the people that make this possible. Shout out to R&R Elite Recruits. Ronnie Roberts and his team doing his thing. Check it out, rnreliterecruits.com. Check out Mark Wright, a presidential award winner, Coldwell banker, Coastal Homes. Give Mark a call. And you already know my guy, Emerson Kilgore, 401 Strength and Fitness. If you don't dial 401, you're not dialed in. I'm going to bring in the hottest youth sports organization going across the country, man. Like, when you say voice reporters, they got reporters all over the joint. You got your boy, the professor. You got Wayne Matthews. You got to have the bad guy up in the house. What's going on, Voice Sports?
What's going on, Mike the Rebel, a.k.a.
You already know.
Skip.
Yeah. Yo, I seen Hood Skip. I say Hood Skip, but you already know. Let me get this music out of here. You can't have Rebella without putting a rebel in it. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
You know, but welcome, man. I got to get this music out of here. Give me 1 second, man. What's going on? That's just my little intro stuff. But how y'all doing, man? Welcome.
Good. Great to be on, man. Always great to talk to you. It's gonna be on, man. I'm excited.
That's right. So my audience meets your audience. Wayne, why don't you tell everybody who you are and what you do in youth sports?
All right. Short version. Yes, I am Wayne TheVoyce Matthews of Voice Sports. I started off announcing games on the youth level 14 years ago. And about 8 years in, I decided it's time for this to expand. There was too many things that was coming up that I was turning down left and right. And I wanted a certain kind of broadcast. I know everyone typically looks for the super professional, Troy Aikman, Joe Buck type deal. I wanted something that would captivate because we're dealing with young kids and viewing our youth consistently everywhere just fit the bill. I started doing events for Diamond. I started doing events for many different Al Spears, a lot of different events around the country. And by my third year, I met so many great people along the way, like, breadcrumbs. And I looked up and I ran into some great people, including the professor here. And I think one of the most intangible things about what you will not only hear when you enjoy a broadcast brought to you by us is that, one, we know what we're talking about, but two, we love to have fun. So I think that's the one intangible besides I would dare to say unified passion between all of us. So it's continued to grow, and now I can safely say we're in 17 different states, the prominent ones in which, youth football is taking place. And I'm just happy at the growth, and this is just the beginning.
That's what's up. Now, you mentioned the professor. Shout out to the professor. What's going on, my guy, man? I like that you rocking that Red Sox hat. You already know. We're gonna, I wanted to steal the professor's voice. I want to steal Samson's name. You know what I'm saying? The bad guy, because you already know in Rhode Island, I got to represent that. You know what I mean? Stay true to the culture. The professor, man, how you like being hooked up with Wayne TheVoyce Matthews, man? Tell the people how you met him and what you do at Voice Sports.
Oh, man. Well, the short version of how I met Wayne was actually via internet. We have a mutual friend that we didn't know we had, which is Curtis Reese. And I just so happened to, I was letting go of coaching last year. So right there towards the beginning of the season, I decided to go ahead and just, part ways with coaching. And I just so happened to put a post up or actually ask a question to Curtis Reese about calling a game. And then Wayne chimed in and was like, hey, you call games? You announce? Hold up, wait a minute. And then he hit my inbox. And we started talking back and forth, where you from, what you doing, what's going on, let them know the whole little deal. And he was like, listen, man, I need to call you. And we jumped on the phone, man, and we talked that day and the next day. And he was like, listen, man, I think I got an opportunity for you. And I think this is where you need to be. So ever since then, man, like I say, I took the ball and I ran with it. My thing is my avenue, what we call lanes here at Voice Sports. Everybody has to know how to ride their lane. I think I'm blessed to have, 3 lanes I can run. I can either do the interview, I can commentate, I can do kind of whatever on the field. The photography stuff, that's not me, man. Those other guys get that stuff. They make everybody look good.
Definitely not you.
That ain't me. Look at this guy. And we got that guy. That's what we got that guy for. That's the sound guy. That's the man right there that we get behind the scenes that really doesn't get that recognition that he should get. That's my man, Coach Tony. I think I just stay in my lane and I do what I do. South Carolina, North Carolina, the 2 areas now that I represent, have plenty talent. And it's hard. Sometimes it's harder for the youth to get recognized if you're not up in somebody's, if you're not on somebody's platform. Thankfully now I was able to get the platform and I was able to turn around like a flower. I just tried to sprinkle it all over and now I let everybody flourish and shine.
And you definitely got the voice for that.
Pink rose.
What?
A pretty pink rose.
This is a pretty big. Oh, I thought you were gonna call me like a thorn bush or something. How about to say, man? I tried that.
So shout out. So Tony, what do you do with Voice Nation, and how did you come up and working with Wayne? And
wow, this is gonna be interesting.
So I started as I've coached at Unity Thunder, so I met Wayne when we started with the SECFL as a age-based league. Wayne was doing the announcing. Me and Wayne kind of hit it off, and mostly hit it off. Him and my daughter hit it off because they 2 of a kind. And then, I just ran with it.
Shout out to Roxy. Shout out Roxy. She keeps it real. Hey, she got that trait you got, Mikey. She called it like she said.
Yeah,
that's all the ceiling.
If you ever want to know what's really going on a football field, and you want her to be in the middle of it, she in the middle of it, and she gonna let you know. She gonna talk about people that they face. They gonna talk. She one of them.
That's what we need. Keep it authentic. Keep people on their toes.
That's Roxy.
But one of my biggest traits, and Wayne to tell you, I'm the one when it's broke, I fix it. If I can't fix it, then it can't be fixed. You get locked out of a press box, I'm getting you in the press box.
I feel that.
We don't need to tell all that part. We don't need to tell all that part.
So Clint, what happened? We went down to Showtime when we couldn't get the mic working.
Yeah.
Tony is that guy.
And it's always in the moment.
Even when we went to University of Maryland, if something goes wrong, Tony be like, what's up, man? I'm like, dude, this ain't right. That ain't right. I don't know how we going to pull this off. He'd be like, hold up a minute. You disappear, you come back, all of a sudden, okay, Tony did it. All right, let's go.
There
you know what I'm saying?
That's all you need to know.
When it comes to getting down on the field, Tony was probably one of the first guys with Voice Sports to create a lane. Typically, I thought we was pioneering in just live streaming from the field, but there was games that we did for the SECFL where Tony actually was on the field with the cordless mic, and we pinging off each other while the game is going on. I mean, literally, the players in the huddle, he could walk up on it, and if it wasn't for the full disclosure, you got the whole hookup, the conversations with the coaches, the kids. There's so many things that Tony does that's indispensable. You can't put a number or a name on it. It's just whatever you need, he's always there.
Yeah, most def. I 100% agree with that.
Respect to him. That's my homie. That's my homie.
everything goes bad when you're doing live streams on the field, so you never know what's going to break. It's definitely not an easy lane. Everyone thinks they can do it.
Man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I tell you what, it's easy to find somebody to say what went wrong, but it's very hard to find somebody. It's very hard to find somebody to go, hold up, I got it. I figure it out. You focus on this and I'll take care of it.
And that's exactly what happened. The first time I met, we finally met Tony face to face last year in Tennessee, and that is exactly what happened. We were on the sidelines. I'm trying to call a game, and the mic won't work, or they can't play the music off of it. I won't say the event we were at, but we just couldn't get it right. It was something minor, but because nobody else knew it, well, now here comes Tony. He's like, how come you're not playing your music? Well, my music won't play because of such and such. All right. What's wrong with the other mic? Well, my other mic won't play because of such and such. He's like, all right, take this mic. This mic works? Yep. Go ahead, go to work, do what you got to do. Give me a few minutes. Sure enough, not even end of the first quarter, I hear him talking on the other mic, walking on the field. I'm like, oh, here you go. He might as well hold that mic now because we about to have fun. Yeah. So yeah, I definitely, we are definitely blessed, shall I say, the least to have Tony, man, because he is truly a blessing. Him and Roxy are an awesome addition to this team.
That's one of the things. My wife called me MacGyver. She was like, every time some shit
Black MacGyver.
Black MacGyver. She's like, if you can't figure that shit out, she's like, then it can't be figured out. Like I'm gonna give you a for instance. Here's one for you, Wayne. Dryer not working, right? Everybody's flipping out in the house. Oh, the dryer don't work. The door don't stay closed. I'm looking at this thing and I'm closing it. I was like, yo, I told my son, go get my drill real quick. He's like, what are you gonna do? I said, watch. And I tightened like 3 screws and now the dryer works. He was like, how the fuck did you figure that out? I was like, something got to be going on. The door won't close. Something got to be happening.
Facts,
shit like
that.
Those are the kind of intangible people that, like I said, you couldn't put that in a job description and get that out of somebody. That's something they had to love to do, they want to do, and I think Tony's probably been with me the longest.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah. It's going on 6 years now, because we met when Chase was a sophomore. Seventh grade. The Chase was in 7th grade.
Wow, time flies when you have fun.
Yeah, your boy gonna be on. He's graduating this year.
Look, yeah. Then Tennessee was a great place, I think, in a lot of different ways. The Showtime event. Because this was the first time I actually had a conversation with R&B. And R&B's in here. Give me that smile. Come on. Look.
That's right. And that was our next one, R&B. How did you meet Wayne TheVoyce Matthews, and what do you do for Voice Nation?
Personally, I met Wayne. You don't probably remember, but the first time I met him was actually at Coach Mac's event in Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
He does. But then at Showtime, I actually got to have a conversation with him. So like a full-fledged, like sit for a second and have a conversation. So mostly my daughter plays. So, and he has been a good advocate for her. So that was really like the connection was he was one of those people that she was always like, I gotta go see Matthews. And I'd be like, what? You mean Wayne? Yeah, I gotta go see Matthews. And I'd be like, okay, all right, go see him. So they, that's her buddy, and she knows that. So it was kind of like, she is really funny about who she trusts and who she connects to. She's a pretty good judge of person too. So like if she is connected to a person and is that enthusiastic, I'm definitely gonna go have a conversation with somebody. So, that's kind of how that worked out. She was like, here's Wayne, let's go talk. So that's what we did at Showtime. And I'm really just getting launched here in Indianapolis, and there's so much going on for one person. I'm still trying to find my lane. But what I normally do here around Indy, what I've done for years is we used to run our own org, and I always did our marketing and media for them. So I do like mostly our videos and highlight reels. working on trying to get some better equipment currently, but it is what it is. We all have to start from our phone. I bet I'm sure I'm not the only one working from your phone.
What?
That's where I started. That's where I started.
So, I mean, luckily, because we did run our own org, I do have good lines of connection. So that honestly has helped me in the I guess an infancy of being on my own. Because we do have a lot of really good photo reporters and stuff around, and some new video reporters that are popping up this year that have not been around before. So it's kind of intense, but I'm gonna make it because I cannot fail.
The game's changing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The game is changing. Now, Wayne, we met about 5 years ago. I hit you up and I said, come on my podcast. Let me start with how I started a podcast was I had trouble getting freshman and JV scores. No matter, I was like, nobody wants to talk about these kids, So I had an idea. They brought me on this local radio station. And I think I was just more prepared than they were, so it didn't work out. So I said, you know what? I'm not going to give up. I looked into how do I start a podcast. I put it on Apple, Google, all the main sites. I reached out to Wayne, come on my podcast, and he said, I'm going to have my interns do research on you first.
That sounds about right. Yep.
So then he does a Google search, and for pages and pages and pages, he sees, Can We Keep It Real podcast? So he comes on, and ever since then, man, this has been my brother right here, man, when youth sports, and he knows if he needs someone to tell you how it is, I'm going to do that, man. I'll always back the coaches. I'll always back the kids and the programs. The administration, that's another story. I have no problem tearing into their behind. You know what I mean?
It's beautiful, man. It's beautiful when you hear these stories. And again, the residual is you always hear passion. You always hear love and concern for the kids. Doing the intangibles that most people don't think about when you think of the youth sports realm. It's one thing to call a game. It's another thing to live stream it. It's another thing to handle the photography. There's another aspect that I think we all share as well is that whether we're behind a microphone or behind a camera, we all look and enjoy every opportunity to mentor any young kid we see, whether it's young or old, boy or girl. And in our areas and in our states, it's needed. And I think that's the one thing that most of us will definitely mutually agree upon. And that I found it, in my time, I was, be honest with you, about 2 years ago, I was ready to sit down. Tony was like, man, you can't retire. You can't retire. He's like, oh, you can't retire if I'm going on sabbatical. I was like, come on, man. I was like, what do you mean sabbatical?
Why are we talking? That's old stuff. Why are we bringing up that?
Hey, young, because don't nobody use words like sabbatical outside the church.
but Tony. Nobody but Tony. Tony does.
And unemployment uses them words and stuff.
So what's that mean? The church and the government?
Yeah.
Everybody gonna sit down.
So I mean, it's just fun to be able to sit back and with great guys like Dino Bravo coming on, to have Samson in the mix. Can't forget Twilight, another ride or die from so many years. I've watched him grow so much in the time frame we've been together. By the time I saw the video he did in Atlantic City this week, and I'm like, who is this guy and where did he come from? So again, everybody has their own distinct personality. Everybody has their own flavor. They have their own area. And unifiably, we all continue to do what we can to build each other up. There's a lot of additions, and I very rarely see anybody do anything contrary or go outside the box. So we continue to have fun, and I think that as it grows, the people will see it, the children continue to love it, and as the events continue to build, we'll be able to do so many great things in the future. But I think it's just nice to be able to get together with people and form like Voltron for the kids.
Oh, especially across the nation. We have people in Ohio. You have people down in the West, in the South, in the North. You know what I mean? Everywhere. Like you said, Voice Nation, you know, and I always say I rock with the nation, Voice Nation. You know what I'm saying? Because even when something happens to a kid that's football to me is family. I don't care if you're in Alaska, New Mexico. When the kid from the Lee Generals passed away this year, I was the first. I stepped right up, being all the way from Rhode Island. You know what I mean? Rest in peace to our brother. You know what I mean? Because we are family. We just recently lost 2 kids in the inner city that were football family a couple years ago. We need to do more to get these kids to stay in school and realize that the streets isn't what it is, because, you know, they took 10 years of my life and I've been fighting to give back ever since.
Right. Yeah, I think it comes down to a lot of times, instead of, you know, and the name itself, voice, it's like we're actually giving people a voice here on the lab. And it's like with a lot of shows, with Samson the Bad Guy and myself get together, do shows on Sundays. It's a lot of the conversations that people sometimes don't want to have, or moms or dads don't know how to have that conversation or to address a certain situation. And we have those conversations. It's not about being controversial. It's about having that open line of communication and being able to go in and talk to, you know, a coach, a director, or anybody, or even them talking to the parent. You might as well have those conversations and put it all out there. So believe it or not, we get a lot of feedback after each and every show. You start getting the direct messages and, hey, thanks for bringing it up. I appreciate it. I mean, everything Wayne told me that was going to happen when I first started out, it actually came to fruition times 1,000. Of course, you're going to get a bunch of friend requests. You're going to get a bunch of uniform people calling you up and all kind of stuff. But yeah, I try to. You have to bob and weave.
I sell a uniform. I give you a uniform. I give you good price. I give you good price.
It always makes me laugh because the uniform guys always say, "Hello, sir," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, they definitely have the round count."
Yeah, see, exactly. See, like you ain't even paying attention. And you know what? Hey, listen, I found out when they're getting ready to come is when they start liking like about 4 or 5 posts in a row.
Yeah.
Expect them to come.
And then they hit the
inbox. Expect them to come to your inbox. If somebody that you don't know has hit your post or an old post or old videos, and they've hit like 4 or 5 in a row, and they've liked, shared, or they've sit there, loved it, the next stop is your inbox, and they're going to ask you about uniforms. Listen, we're straight on uniforms. I promise you.
I didn't know there was that many Pakistan uniform companies.
Oh my God!
What?
It might only be 5 of them, and it's just they're using different aliases. Who knows?
So these are the reasons why I don't. When I get these friend requests, I get these requests to be on shows. I can't get on y'all shows because it's made for TV. When I get on, because Wayne does it, Twilight does it. I haven't been on Clinton because I know he's going to do it. They always give me the questions that they know are controversial. And they know that I'm going to start. Am I right, Wayne? Every time I get on,
look, man, I ain't messing with you, dog. I'm not even going to talk to you about business.
Hey, that's right up my alley. I try not to stay controversial, but I end up like it just falls on my lap. And then once people know you talk about that, your inbox really fills up.
I did one interview with Wayne, and it sent the state of Maryland in an uproar. I said that we were going to merge with a certain team. Me and Wayne wasn't even off the call. We was on the call with 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And I want to say I got hit probably 1,000 messages about this. Like I said, I'm never.
That's not an exaggeration. That's not an exaggeration.
When I say the state of Maryland was in an uproar, I mean the state of Maryland was in an uproar. Like, how are you doing it? Why are you doing it? I'm like, look, man, I was told to go on the show and talk about it. Wayne was poking the bear, and I was trying not to give all the information.
And he already knew.
He already knew it because we had talked about it before I went on the show.
Of course, he said, "Let me get him to say, yeah, you can't. You gotta
That's
try."
what we do. That's what we do.
I had so many things. I had something else I was getting ready to release because it was in the works, and I was like, man, I ain't talking to nobody about this one because the minute I said that one would have been, yeah. But
it's been really interesting because, quite honestly, Mikey, when all of these things started in the beginning, I'm sitting here trying to deal with it and cope with it myself. Like, I could not explain to somebody that I wake up in the morning and cut my cell phone on fully charged. And by the time it finished buzzing and all the messages come in, it's at 60%. You would not believe me. So when I sat down and we started talking about it, at that time, Chris was with us, Sean was with us, Clinton came in, Tony was in. I noticed that as we continued to grow, there were more people that people could, reach out to and get answers before they came to me. That by the time I sat and had a conversation with R&B, I can't wait for her to get established because she brings so much diversity to what we already do, because no one is in Indianapolis. You typically don't hear about any of the kids there. It's a groundbreaking place, very similar to Rhode Island. Outside of the Boston team, the Massachusetts team that has been in FBU, you don't hear about anything in Rhode Island.
No, you don't.
Same thing. That you got New York, you know what I'm saying? It's 5 boroughs in New York. That so many people, or so many players, or so many coaches, there's so many things that go on that the television is not going to come to. And if you get out here and see some of these games or see some of these events, you'd be like, why is the ESPN here? Don't worry about it. We here. So we created it and we built it, and I'm so blessed to sit back and see it grow and have so many great people around it. I think that is the greatest. I think that's the greatest acronym of it all, is that I could have 100 people here and it'd be chaos. But God blessed me with some great people that are passionate, they're true to the game, they love kids, and I can count on one hand how many times we disagree. And more times than not, it's about what team is going to win a game. It's never a lot of unnecessary drama type reality TV show series type stuff. So I'm looking forward to the opportunity of having a voice reporter show where all of us converge and we pick a topic and we go at it from our different areas and different perspectives. So to have you at the nucleus of it just makes a lot of sense. I don't know what happened to Samson. But
last I knew, he was at the bodega. It looks like he was at the corner store.
That sounds about right.
I gotta get me a zip. Hold up.
Let me get
one. The professor, what's going on with high school in your area? Are they playing? Any kids that recruiters might want to keep an eye on?
Most definitely. There's plenty of talent down here in the Low Country, what we call the Low Country in Charleston, South Carolina. It's on the edge. I was just talking to Wayne earlier about the same thing. COVID, it's still right there. It hasn't gone anywhere. Schools went back to virtual. Several counties around here went back to virtual. And they're only doing it for a week, which is kind of strange. I don't know what the week is supposed to do. And as far as people, I guess, coming in and spraying the schools, I don't know how that even works. I won't even get into that. That's a different conversation. But high schools have started. Everybody's trying to find, what seems to me, everybody's trying to find somebody to play. Because if you set something up a week or two in advance, and then all of a sudden you hear that, knock on wood, a team goes out because a few players have COVID, and now everybody's shut down. Well, now this team has to quickly scramble to try to find somebody to play. So it's getting kind of interesting. You have 5A schools that kind of just reach out and like, listen, we'll play anybody. Well, a 2A and a 4A is not going to play a 5A school because they already know what's going to happen. Some might, but it's shown in the past that really, really doesn't work out well at the end of the day. So it's kind of on the line, Mikey. It's on the line. It's really on the line. But thankfully, some are able to play, like we talked about last year. Even some seniors. This one here. Even some seniors. I feel bad for them if they're going to be a senior at the end this year and they're not able to get out there and play. Well, it's crazy. It's crazy, and I know it's got to be heartbreaking, but I hope they have their film and have all their stuff out there because they're definitely going to need it.
And the other thing, like, they really have to have them grades 9, 10, 11, and 12. I'm seeing a lot of kids, they get into that point in the colleges are like, you should have done a little more. Now we're going into week 1, and now we're seeing kids getting not eligible because of they failed off last season, which was a virtual learning season, and they didn't do summer camp. But should these kids be held? I mean, I'm kind of in the middle here. I don't think I want them to play football, and I don't want them to be ineligible for something they didn't do last season. My question is, why weren't the coaches brought into this sooner instead of you got a week to go and your kids are not eligible?
Well, because I don't think that's a coach's subject or area. That's more scholastic and academic, and that's more something that the school board or the powers that be control. The most the coaches can do is supplement whatever's going on their end. But I would like to hear. I let R&B answer it. I don't want her to be so quiet in the corner.
I was just listening, absorbing. That's what I do. Listen and absorb.
Yeah, it's all good. But
dang, I done lost my track. Where were we at?
So I was pretty much saying that kids are being ineligible. We're going into the week 1. They're being ineligible for failing off last season, even though they had all summer to do summer school.
Yeah, virtual.
They didn't do it. Should they be held accountable because COVID was a screwed up year? The system failed itself. The virtual learning was horrible.
So
and the coaches, why weren't the coaches told? Because I think if the coaches were told, they could have got on the kid. Like a friend of mine said, I was doing all off-season conditioning with this kid. He would have been on the benches doing his schoolwork.
So are we throwing it at the parents? Okay, so here's the thing. Not every kid, we got to have personal accountability. If we're talking about high schoolers, you're in high school and your grades got to be right. And can we really use COVID as a crutch, as an excuse? What happens in college when you got to take a course and the only course this specific course that you need to graduate is only available virtual? Are we going to use that as our crutch? I mean, I know when I took college classes, there were certainly some of my classes that were required for my degree that were only available online. So where's the accountability? And are we throwing it on the parents like you should hold your high schooler accountable? Are we throwing it on the coaches? I realize that kids need guidance, but at the end of the day, we're talking about kids that want to go D1. We're talking about kids that want scholarships. The book's got to be there. You have to hold yourself accountable because there's a lot of kids in this world that don't have somebody else to hold them accountable.
Oh, no, you're absolutely right.
It should be cut from a different cloth altogether if it's going to be like that. I totally agree with R&B. If you're that D1 player, you're already up there. Obviously, we've looked at your schoolwork already. There should be no slippage. You should be responsible for what you're wanting to do, what you're trying to do.
I got a kid in the house going for an Eagle Scout, and he struggled academically last year. And, he made it through, but virtual was hard for him. But he's, working on an Eagle Scout on top of, COVID and all the things that it went through. And he lost his senior year of football due to a shoulder injury too. So COVID was rough on him.
I would say for the most part, Mikey, if we start giving these kids excuses, then we might as well go ahead and give them a bunch of them.
That's right. Make moves, not excuses.
Saying that I struggle with virtual learning is no different than a kid coming to you saying, "Well, I didn't pass class because the teacher didn't like me."
But should we not?
At the end of the day, that still has to be a requisite. The one thing that you will see across the board with a D1 athlete is that they're a D1 scholar first. That's never going to change. Whether their knee is busted or they're in 100% perfect health, the grades are going to be a mandatory. So I understand what you're saying from a perspective, but let's have some compassion about it. Maybe some can have that leniency. Those ones that maybe didn't have access to a computer, I get it. The ones who, I guess, didn't have the laptop or the mandatory laptop or whatever the case may be, I can see that. But if you had the computer, you had a chance to check into enough of those classes to get the work, come on, bro. It's an email. Type it out, right. Kick it back. At least you gotta do.
But now these kids don't have a fifth year, and I understand they got to be held accountable. But if we leave a kid back 1 year, that throws off his entire future because he made an error. So should we throw I'm just saying, should we throw these kids a lifeliner?
Yeah,
considering
maybe so,
all the circumstances, because you need all 4 years to make it to college now.
That would be case by case, and somebody would have to run through it with a fine-tooth comb to get that resolved.
So why not do what we doing now is reclassing? Everybody want to reclass, just reclass.
I mean, the kids is reclassed already, so it would be a second or third time.
Is that allowed in high school?
Reclasses they done. I've had that issue here in Pennsylvania. Kids at the fifth grade level.
Oh man, the whole gamut of the butthead crew is in town now. The whole butthead crew is here.
Coach Twilight, the Pennsylvania bad guy himself.
Bad boy himself, yeah. I'm just saying, I got parents already reclassing their kids at the fifth grade level. I mean, will it happen? Yes. Now, if these kids are seniors trying to get into college, yeah, let's give them a chance. But the rest of these kids, they got their chances. These freshmen are coming in. So you got to utilize what you got. You got to utilize the tools that we're going to offer you to help you get into school. Now, if you're not trying to take these chances and utilize your opportunities to get into college, then what are we doing for?
Now, the funny part is the NCAA did give an extra year of eligibility to the seniors and those ones that were already in school. Now, it's the 11th, 10th, and the 9th graders. Yo, you got to eat that.
And that portal is full. Like, I'm seeing D1 kids transfer to Division III programs. Not saying there's nothing wrong with Division III programs, but I'm seeing, like, kids that were supposed to go to Michigan because the portals – there's like 1,200 kids in a portal the first week because of these kids all getting an extra season.
Now, they're using college, right?
Yes.
And also, you still got to add in the fact that now, by the time 2024-25 hits, many of those kids on the college level, whether it's D1, D2, D3, or HBCU, CIAA, whatever branch of it you may look at, they possibly will be getting paid soon. So now the ante is up because not only does your grades need to be right, but the talent aspect has to be there because you're competing for a position. Now, the school is not going to take you if you're academic liability, but now you got 15 other kids in that same capacity. I don't care if you're Jerry Rice, if you got a 2.1 GPA. You're going to run into some type of adversity. So, again, the networking and the ability to have that connectivity comes from somebody being able to speak on your behalf to these coaches. And that's another capacity that many of the voice reporters here will be able to have soon. I don't know. I'm not sure if Twizzy started getting questions like that, but I know Tony gets questions all the time about kids prior to them going to, college or what have you, or writing referral letters and what have you, such as I have. And I know Clinton definitely will be doing this soon. We become the spokespeople for what they are and add to their character profile. Now, I know a lot of times you watch any one of our shows, we address more so the parents and the community for their conduct within the bleachers and then within the game format, because they're also part of the character profile. They're not just recruiting your son, they're recruiting you and your habits as well as your economic and financial background. So all of these things play a part.
You may want to repeat that one more time. You want to repeat that one more time.
Many of the parents need to understand that you are a greater part of the recruiting process beyond just what your son or daughter brings to the table and what you bring as an economic/financial component. They're looking at who you are and the way you are, because when you don't want a bunch of ruckus people in the bleachers. These students will potentially be alumni. Those unions become something special that they care about. If you have the attitude of cussing out the coach because your son ain't getting enough time, those type of things you need to address on the youth level before you get to high school, where you're gonna find out how those repercussions come back to haunt you. Because now those same coaches that you chewing out are the same ones that are sitting here either speaking on your son's behalf or writing on your son's behalf, and you're a part of that equation.
Amen.
Shout out Coach Twilight. To say that again. Pennsylvania. Coach Twilight, what's going on in high school in your area? Any kids that are really gonna stick out this season?
We got a few prospects. Mario Easley, Bishop McDowell, number 5, is already committed to ODU. We have Camille Foster, which I deem the playmaker. He is also going to be either Akron or ODU. We also have the Tajay Brody's. He's saying he's going to commit after the season. I don't know why, but that's his choice. But like I tell most people, if you're not committing by your junior year to your D1 prospects, it's more or less D2. Mekhi Flowers is already committed to Penn State. He was at the Stilton High-Spire High School. Also, he's now attending Central Dauphin East, where he has Tony Powell, the quarterback, who's also be attending, hopefully, looking at West Virginia University. Now, these are great athletes. I'm digging more into their background, into their grade point averages, and see where they're at. Also, we have a lot of up-and-coming stars, which is Alex Irby, is a 4-star athlete from 24/7 Sports quarterback. You have the defensive tackle, Andrew Irby, his twin brother. Phenomenal kids.
I love it.
Hey, Clint.
I love it. Yeah.
Hey, Clint. That's Twizzy.
I'm about to say, you see, he's back.
Twizzy. That's Twizzy.
He's back. Hey, Mike, Mike,
I got one better for you.
Hold on. Mike,
next Friday, game of the week in Maryland. Good Counsel versus St. Francis at Good Counsel.
Okay. I'm going to have to definitely check that out. Good Counsel versus St. Francis. Bro. This is what I'm saying, talking about national football.
You going to that, Ray? What's up?
I'll be there.
I'm there.
I'll be there. I got sideline. I may have sideline access to St. Francis.
Hey, look, you hear your man talking all cocky, Brody, about this joint. He ain't said nothing about that 42-0 unity put out there last week.
It wasn't 42, Wayne. It wasn't 42. It was 48. It was 48.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, it was the scrimmage that was 42.
The scrimmage was 42.
They dropped 48. They dropped 48 in the Krispy Kreme out there for real.
Yeah. How many teams?
The 12 you put up 42.
And this dude in Frantic City. Man, Twizzy in Frantic City more than me. I'm trying to figure out how that happened. My man
Unbelievable.
He's in demand.
Well, Mikey, what lifeline? And I know earlier you were speaking on it. What lifeline would you want to give to the student athletes if there was an avenue? What would be your thought process? What would be the avenue that you would want to give them?
What I would recommend is and some of the coaches mentioned it, that we'll get the kids tutored, and and we'll do all the work and bring them to the library and get them caught up on their test scores. And they bring up a good point. We don't know what these kids' summer life was. We don't know. Like, I know a lot of kids in these cities, like, they're safer on the streets than going home.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And now we're going into week 1. Friday starts the season, and you're ineligible because you failed out last year, and we went on vacation, and you had the summer to do it on your own.
So nobody came up. Well, and I get it from both sides, right? So this is the type of conversations I have Sunday afternoons at 5:00. So the question would be, who is then responsible?
Well, the student would be responsible. The student is responsible, but
you do
the sacrifices.
I want athlete to be successful. As a parent, you gotta do your part and do your due diligence and check the homework. Ask the tough questions. Hey, Junior, did you do your homework? Yeah, Dad, bring it here.
Yeah, hello.
You're right. But we're past that now.
I don't have time for that. Yeah, as a parent, I don't have time for that because I'm too busy sitting out on the deck or sitting outside with that blunt in my hand.
Well, I hope you got time to
drinking the Hennessy.
I hope they got time to pay for that lawyer.
This is powerful
let's call it what it is. Let's call it what it is.
Like you say, and I hope you got a good enough job to fill up that refrigerator next summer when they sitting right there too.
Hey, I heard that.
No, they're not gonna be sitting. They're not gonna be sitting on that sofa if the parents has that type of mentality. So I hope they got money for their lawyer and their probation officer. So they
speak on that. Speak on that.
Exactly.
Speak on that.
Exactly.
Speak on that.
That's a fact.
If you would rather, if you have time to roll a blunt, if you have time to go out here and party, but you don't have, and this is coming from somebody that made them dumbass mistakes. So if you got time to do all that, but you don't got time to make sure your son is at practice to check his homework, make sure his homework is done, I hope you got time, and I hope you got money for that lawyer and that commissary, because it's coming.
Because that is coming. That's a fact. That's a fact.
But what's crazy about that, though, that's not even just the high school level. That's the youth level.
That's youth level.
Leave it alone. Everybody go home
keeping
now.
it real, dog. Red Solo Cup time.
They're not ready for that one.
So I'm gonna give y'all a scenario. Here's my scenario. This is my scenario that happened this weekend. So the Org is playing up in Baltimore. Parent brings the kid to the game. We as coaches and people, we've done that. Kid is out playing around. Freak accident happens. Kid runs into a pole, cuts his ear open. Right?
Okay.
Mom blasting the person that brought her kid there because she wasn't watching her child.
Oh my.
Blasting the mother, making her feel like shit.
Sometimes the bleachers in the sideline is a home for those who are learning parenting still. Because you do have to accept the fact there's a lot of parents, whether it's male, female, single home, broken home, or even constructively put together, that still utilize extracurricular sports as a form of daycare. As long as he's over there, it'll be good. You can sugarcoat it all you want to. There's still those people who treat it like it's a daycare. Go over there for 3-4 hours, and when you come back, then I'll deal with what you want to eat.
Those are the same people that treat school like a daycare.
Right. Exactly. And that's why when the kids screwing up in it, you don't hear that. You don't see them at the PTA meeting. You don't hear about them getting upset. They're not calling the school back to have conversations with the counselor. They're not going to pursue whether that kid has an opportunity to go to school. They're not going to sit down with the NCAA, and even though registration is $75, they make that $75 seem like it's stupid expensive. But when your son come into the room, or you meet the young man, he walking in with an iPhone,
the new Jordan.
Yeah, the new Jordan. Oh, he hooked up. He rigged up, but you ain't got the bread. I feel you. House smell good. I don't know what that is. What that cannabis for men?
No, you definitely got a lot of points, and Samson hit the nail on the head. You know what I mean? Like, you got to be paying for that bail, that commissary. them collect calls, that J card.
He look. Hood Skip know all that. Hood Skip.
Yeah, you're gonna listen. You're gonna pay for all that, man. You're gonna have to pay for all that, and it's crazy because as soon as you tell a parent that, this is the crazy part. As soon as you break it down to a parent like that, then you're the bad guy. Don't talk about my kid like that. You're wishing bad on my kid. Don't say that about my kid. No, I'm not wishing bad on your kid. You're wishing bad on your kid because you're not doing what he's supposed to do.
Pennsylvania bad guy, man. You've been waiting patiently. With your hand raised.
I'm saying, y'all. Most parents, they're going to the then once.
Hey Tony, you slicing and dicing. I can hear you, man.
My bad.
This dude making ribeye or something.
Parents see that, they're going to start to see dollar signs because they're trying to get their kids to the elite college level so they can get them to the NFL so they can write checks. That's all they're trying to do.
Right.
No, you're right. How many?
You can do it until somebody tells them or believe them themselves.
But you can't get them to D1 before you get. You got to get to high school first.
But that's the coach's problem because the coach is supposed to check on the grades, not the parents. Sorry,
no, I disagree.
It's twofold.
I believe both parties should be concerned because you're still talking about a minor. Even in high school, they still have minor mentalities. So it's a responsibility to be shared by the coach and the parents. Because if one drops the ball, they should be able to inform the other.
But if the school's not informing anybody,
right?
How does the coach or the parent know?
Well, the parent should know because as a parent, you should know what your kid is doing. You should always know what you. Yeah.
I know what he's gonna be doing every minute of the day because I can pull it up on my phone and say, "Oh, how'd you miss that assignment and didn't tell me about it?" My phone, I didn't check. These schools have prepared these parents with such thing as Power Schools on their phone, in their computers, to check their grades daily, hourly, minutely, if that's a word, to make sure they're staying on top of it.
He said minutely?
Coach.
Lord have mercy. I'm going to send, your English teacher going to put a hit out on you.
But now, I tried to sign on to some of them portals. They're called portals. Some of them things you need a PhD to even navigate through them websites. You got to download this and download that.
Office until they get done. I mean, the counselor know each other first name basis, and they understand everything from Bishop McDevitt to a public school. The public school's trying to make ninth grade classes, and I had to sit in that darn counselor's office until he got every class correct and make sure everything qualified for the NCAA clearinghouse. Then they gave me a free registration because of the school. Then we moved forward, and I could smile. Everybody's high five when I went out.
But imagine what happened if you'd have walked in there not knowing that all those things were accessible to you.
Someone said, we got to bring these guys to Rhode Island.
we tell these people this. I know you.
We put it out all the time. Before we get too far into this, though, Mikey, I want to give Samson a chance to introduce himself and give his background.
Oh, that's right, Samson. I asked everyone else, how did you meet Wayne and what do you do for Voice Sports and how do you make some of them badass trailers?
So it's crazy. I met Wayne. Actually, I met Wayne previously at Tennessee at the showcase. When he got his Hall of Fame jersey from Al. But then I was doing a live feed, doing what I do, man. I was going live from a football game in our local area, and the professor seen it. He jumped on my live feed and was like, "Yo, I need you to hit me up. I need to holler at you." And I ain't even gonna lie. At first, I kind of brushed it off. I ain't even gonna hold you. I'm like, I don't know who this guy is that much. I knew other professor because I had followed him after seeing him at one of Al's events as well. But so then the next day, I looked at my DM. I seen he hit me on DM, so I was like, he's serious. So I talked to the professor, and then he talked to Wayne, and then it's been a snowball effect since then, big.
That's what's up, man. So, and Pennsylvania. Yes, your turn. How did you meet Wayne, and what do you do for Voice Sports?
Well, I was talking trash.
You say what?
I talked trash. He was calling the Mason-Dixon Bowl. He was calling every state but my state. And 2 elite players. And he was on my side. Fighting and let that young man know that he all Pennsylvania once or twice. Or more times when he hears about it. So then we happened to go to Paint Branch next day. He was walking upstairs. I said, "Damn, big boy." Ooh! And he said, "You want to come call a game with me?" That's how Press Box Bad Boys met.
I seen you at the Maryland game the other day with the New England Intruders. Them referees were, and them were Rhode Island kids, you know. Them referees were funny.
You got to go when you're on the field. First thing you do is be friends with the refs. They'll tell you.
He said, "I'm gonna hang behind the guy with the white hats on."
Because those some big kids. And
Yo, that's the safest place on the field is behind the refs.
Yeah.
Did you say safe?
Safe.
Yeah, safe.
Ain't nobody running the ref over. They know better. That's 15 yards you run the ref over.
Easy.
So you stay behind the refs.
The professor said it was past his bedtime, so shout out to the professor, man.
Is it not? Yeah, it's way past his bedtime.
Yeah, right out with the feds.
I enjoy all you guys, and I think these are the conversations that we should have each week. These conversations that need to be had with people. You know, just there's so many things going on, not only true in my state, your state, and also to give kids that wouldn't, you know, when recruiters watch the show, kids from your area, to give them that recognition and help more kids get recruited and have a blessed life.
Hey, you know what? They got you, and they got so many different extensions because of you that we are all in the same. You're all in the same movement. Again, like I said before, it's beautiful when you see people that are aware enough to know what's going on and what's needed. And for us to be able to come together and form like Voltron, Rhode Island does have a voice. They got my man Hood Skip.
That's right. You already know Hood Skip. He's good. Yo, I told Wayne one day. Wayne said we should do a show where we'll like Skip Bayless and Scan Shop, and I said, yeah, you're gonna be Skip Bayless.
Hey,
nobody wants to be Skip, bro. Nobody wants to be Skip.
He said you be the Hood Skip.
Hey, because we having good hip hop conversations as well. But
we can, and you know I can hold that conversation.
My man sitting over here got the whole chef combo going on. I got Twizzy down this joint looking like he lost 30 pounds. What happened to Atlantic City, man? Twilight, what happened to Atlantic City, man? I see you up there, but job is cutting up, man.
Oh man, I was in Atlanta. I was out there by Philly. Atlantic City was 3 hours south of it, but we was right there at the Philly border. And matter of fact, Jarvis is amazing. He has 7 first-year players that's coming up to play with him, and he's still whooped up. And I'm sorry to say it this way, 30-0.
Nah, we not.
No.
Jarvis' intensity is something to behold when watching him coach.
We're not gonna do that.
But yet and still, he's so intense when he talks to them. I mean, I'm watching him call the play, and I still don't know where the ball's going. I'm right there by the refs.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm thinking it's going to the right, and he went left. That's his name is David Copperfield. That's his own name, Jarvis.
Let me ask you guys something. Bishop Sycamore, it kind of went away. What do you guys think of that situation?
Oh my God! Why did you bring that up? I was ready to go to
bed. Ironically, last week I had a chance to have a conversation with Minister Peterson, and we were going to set up an interview where we were going to talk candidly on the show. And that conversation was unable to be held for various reasons beyond our control.
Because they ain't want the truth.
They ain't want So, the opportunity to have that kind of conversation just lends to all of the different articles that I'm pretty sure that, and you probably, I just put you in the group today, but when the word went out that we were going to research the school and the whole issue, if you saw how many articles poured into just the horseman line. I think I had everything but the man's birth weight at his age, whatever his weight was at birth. He had everything. I wanted to give the man a chance to speak and tell us what's going on with it and why all of this is going on. And I think it's best to just leave it alone because of the way the legal representation has to step in and intercede for so many different things. I just thought it was ironic that despite all of the stuff that was said derogatory, if you see any interview with the kids that played for the team, they were extremely happy about it.
Yes, but there was a player that played for the team a couple years ago that talked some pretty irate stuff, and he was from the Bronx, I think. My question was, how come ESPN wasn't held accountable, and who sanctioned these games? Like, that's kind of forget about what the team went through. Like, how did ESPN, Coach Twilight? What do you got? Yes, money, exactly.
I know Samson will probably agree, and it'll be easy to state. There was a time where IMG and St. Francis, both as high schools, couldn't find anybody that wanted to play them because they knew it was going to be excuse my French, ass whooping.
Foot to ass,
so,
man. Foot to ass.
But again, that goes back to something that I talk about all the time. Do your due diligence. Who did they due diligence on the school? Who did the background check with you?
I personally think, and this is real talk, like some people might disagree. I think somebody at ESPN knew what was going on, but at the same time, ESPN knew that IMG would bring ratings, bro. It's all the way across the board. This whole situation says money. The Bishop people got paid to play this game. They already admitted that. IMG is getting their kids on TV again, and ESPN is getting the ratings. Who doesn't want to watch IMG play? Who doesn't want to watch St. Francis play? And
it was a guaranteed blowout.
Is IMG becoming a for-profit school? Are they building a for-profit machine? Because they're coming to Springfield. They travel everywhere. They travel everywhere.
Somebody, then that'll be a different conversation.
I mean, Bishop Hendricken too up this way, but
I think IMG is just looking like Wayne said.
Before I say that they would have to play a team that was just as prominent or just as popular for me to believe something like that.
I gotta agree with Wayne. I think it's a situation where IMG was like, you know what? We don't even care who it is. We can't get games as it is. We're gonna go ahead and play this game.
I mean, but they are traveling all over the country playing. Oh, yeah, definitely. It was all about money. ESPN, Stephen A. Smith, Snitch, he was at the top of the poll.
Oh, Lord, they go Skip. Come on, Skip.
Not the Stephen A. Smith. Not the Snitch.
Oh, you know,
I've been hoodwinked. I've been bamboozled.
That's the second time. I can't either. Like, I remember the story when he wrote the newspaper about his coach, and the whole campus wanted to really kill him because the coach wouldn't play him. So he said that the coach was sick of something or was kind of hurt, and he wrote this whole story. And then the coach actually had his back still. Yeah, he's a dirtball.
But I want to thank player. One of his signature socks.
There you go. Already endorsement.
And you gonna screenshot it holding up some socks. Lord have mercy.
Game day socks. Shout out to my dog, Brody Whaler, way up there in northwest Spain.
They gotta pay for that.
Baby Brady, number 12, Baby Brady. That's my dog.
Yeah,
Hey, you know what, Mike? You know, I know I'm gonna have to step off here in a second.
Yeah. No, we good.
I do want to say this. I do want to say this before I leave. I've been extremely blessed to have some incredibly passionate people around me, and I know that for the most part, they all know how much I appreciate them. But just for the record, Tony, you know how much you mean to me. Sean, I can't even put into words. We fight like cats and dogs sometimes, but we always come out better in the end. And Samson, I'm really excited about the future. The things that we've been able to go through with Professor and R&B and watching everybody develop and find their lane has just been an immense blessing for me. And I'm happy that voice sports will not be something that dies if I stop talking.
We here for the long haul. We here for the long haul, baby. We here for the long haul.
On Saturday, how many of y'all going to football games?
I'm going Saturday.
I'm coaching.
I got the Maryland Heat all day Saturday.
I'm coaching.
I'm coaching Saturday, and I'll be at the field all day Sunday.
All day long. That way, when everybody at a different game in a different state, it shows that we are touching everybody in the community.
Oh, that'd be fire. That'd be fire.
Whoa. Watch what you say. Watch what you say. You know where we at now. Can't be touching everybody, Sean. Can't be touching everybody, Sean.
No,
and Tony's giving us a cooking class.
Look,
I'm giving you an eating class.
Yeah, an eating class. You know, we see the bottom of the microwave, but yo, this is great because we're in all different states. You know, 2 platforms. You know, and we can highlight a lot of different kids, and we can highlight. You know, this is going to be good conversation. You know, for us to have. So I'm hoping this is something that can grow into something good.
We should do it every Tuesday night and we let you pick the topic.
Yo, for sure, man. Open topic, man, because I think we flow good. You know, this is like a conversation. It's not an interview. It's good stuff.
Shout out to Rhode Island. Y'all better support my man Mikey, man. He's doing incredible things up there.
I can do the crip walk too.
My man.
I can do the crip walk.
Look at
Mike the man.
But thank you guys, man. Voice Sports, I appreciate it. You know, everybody follow Voice Sports, follow all these guys. You know, Tony is blessed to have you on. Samson, it's always real.
Yes, sir.
Sunday. I see Samson on Sunday.
Rocking and rolling. The most electrifying in voice sport. The energy is gonna be crazy, man. The energy is gonna be crazy. The energy. Hey, listen, Twilight, we're gonna light it up at John Champ High School, Hammers Home Field. We're gonna be in there lighting. Listen, everybody gonna be talking about it. ESPN gonna be calling the phone.
Trying to get
We're not gonna be able to go live. I'm telling you, the energy is gonna be crazy, baby. If you ain't got that, you better be there.
Hood Skip's gonna be calling and be like, "Yo, this is ASPN." But shout out to you guys, man, and we'll definitely have to do this again next week. And I want to hear about all these games that you guys are going to, man.
And next time, hey Tony, next time you had dinner done already.
Yeah,
it's done. I'm just eating. I just got in from practice, man.
He said we get an eating class.
Look here,
I was hanging out with the Monstars this week tonight.
Yeah, man. No glizzies on the show. No glizzies on the show next week.
Oh, Glizzy King, no Glizzy.
At a high school level, for still high rollers, I'm very proud of Andrew Irby. He's got a lot of kids in the D1. He's going to 2 state titles, working on number 3. Hey, shout out to Mr. Coach Irby. He's really about it. All right, this is Twilight. I see y'all tomorrow night, 8:30. Tune in, Twilight Zone. Question you want to ask: are you people really testing these kids with COVID? I heard some things. Y'all know I heard it first. So we're gonna ask that question. Y'all really
That's bad,
or you playing them because you want to win? You coaches don't ever surprise me.
Yo, that's you guys have a excellent chemistry, a good crew, you know, and I think with Samson coming on board, you know what I mean, the professor, Tone, like, you guys are killing it. You're killing it.
Just happy to make
it. What is K Slade? Killed the game.
I gotta give a quick shout out. I gotta give a quick shout out to the 3 VA teams. I gotta give a quick shout out to the 3 VA teams that made the Washington Post top 20. I gotta give a shout out to Unity Reed 2-0, Freedom High School 2-0, and Broad Run. They scratched that top 20 for the Washington Post. So salute to them teams for representing VA, baby.
Dopeness.
That's what's up, man. But thank you guys, man. It's been awesome. Tony Sampson, Wayne, we'll do this again soon. Wayne, I'll be tuning into your next show. Who shows on next?
11 a.m. tomorrow morning. We bringing it back. The first youth sports morning show representing. You got voicemail tomorrow morning, 11 a.m.
They calling me.
You got the Twilight Zone. There is. And you got Coach Twilight tomorrow night. We got a lot of good stuff going on. Samson, you Thursday, right?
I'm Thursday, baby.
There it is.
Hey, Wayne, I have a schedule by Friday of Unity games for the year.
Thank you. Let's make that
We got
happen.
5 home games. Hey, bro, we got 5.
And Tony, you can come on the podcast and talk about the Unity if you want, whenever you want, man. I don't just show Rhode Island love, you know what I mean? We football family.
We under the radar right now.
I feel
we just be trying to get first downs, man. It's hard to get first downs, man.
No 40 points, nigga. Stop being
you being modest.
Yeah.
That's like St. Ray's up here. They got like 4 FBS players, and I think they're gonna come snatch people's souls this year. Moses Muse, keep an eye out. I think he's gonna be the best player coming out of Rhode Island. He was as a sophomore. The kid is he's a tank, and he could play 22 positions.
Hey, Samson got off already? I wanted to ask him a question, but he already got off.
Yep, yeah, I think Samson bounced, but
Hey, Wayne, they real quick before we get off, they stuck us in the 2nd division in Mid-Maryland. Is he still there? Wayne looked like he paused.
Yeah, he might have fell asleep.
All right, man. It was good talking to you, brother.
Yeah, for real. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to all the Maryland football teams, and just keep doing your thing. Let's keep some of these kids, try to keep them playing football, keep them off the streets.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you, Tony. Man. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
All right, man. Have a good night.
You too. Voice Nation, man. That was the Voice reporters that came in, man. But a big thank you to our supporters, R&R Elite Recruits. Go check R&R out. Over 3,000 schools. Definitely big shout out to 401 Strength and Fitness. Give Emerson a call if it ain't 401. You are not dialed in. And a big supporter to Mark Wright, Coldwell Banker Coastal Homes Presidential Award winner. Give Mark a call at 401-787-5203.
You nervous with butterflies in your stomach, don't try to intimidate me. You couldn't scare me with lip. I'm spontaneous, smart, dangerous, fancy and quick. My trainer told me to work, he ain't prepared me to quit. I'm the only captain who's sailing this championship. I gotta hold down the city.